Number one, don't choose the wrong girl. So I can guarantee you at some point in your dating life, you're gonna come across this situation. It's almost like a canon event that every single guy has to go through at some point. There's gonna be a girl you're talking to, and everything's gonna seem pretty good. You know, she's fun to hang out with, you're very attracted to her, but something just doesn't feel right. There are some major red flags that you start to notice. Maybe she has a lot of guy friends, she has a bad relationship with her family. Something just feels off and you notice it. Shoot, this happened to me back a few years ago when I was in college. I had to learn this one the hard way. There was this one girl I was talking to and we were having a good time. But there was this one night where, we had already been talking for a few weeks and I didn't think I was gonna go out to this one party, said I was just gonna chill, was gonna stay inside, then ended up showing up like a bit later and noticed that she was talking to this other guy. And I didn't really think much about it at the time, just kind of said like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not really gonna stress over it too much. Like we weren't, official at the time, but something just didn't feel right. And then I came actually to find out a few months later that she had actually gotten with this guy. And overlooking this really cost me because later on in our relationship, I actually found out that she was, speaking to other guys behind my back. She was texting other guys, had some guy friends I didn't know about. And this all could have just been avoided in the first place if I had listened to my gut and not ignored the red flag. Because something you got to understand is that when your gut instinct says something is wrong, as men, we have this feeling for a reason. It's not just there for you to ignore. It's not just there, randomly. It's there because you know something is wrong. Like your spidey senses are going off and you're noticing something. So what you got to understand as a man and the way you got to go about these situations is no matter how beautiful a girl is, no matter how much fun she is, you cannot compromise on your morals. You cannot compromise on what you believe makes a girl a good partner in the long run, right? Because it's kind of like the whole delaying gratification thing. Yeah, she might be fun, in the moment. She might be fun to hang out with. She might be, attractive. But if she's not going to be a good long-term partner, you should not take her very seriously. And I think the reason a lot of guys get in these situations where they start dating a girl seriously who maybe they shouldn't is just because of scarcity mindset, right? You're saying to yourself like, oh, but what if I don't find a girl who's better than her? Oh, what if I don't find a girl who's as good as her? But the thing is, bro, if you're a guy who's leveling up, who's going to the gym, who's doing the right things, okay, you're going to eventually have a lot of girls who are into you. There's going to be a lot better partners than a girl who you're not completely sure about. So really, there's no reason to settle for a girl who's below your standard. As a man, why would you ever want to do that? Why would you want to settle for a girl who's not truly up to what you're looking for? So instead of doing that, when you get that gut instinct that something is just not right, make sure you listen to it and make sure you don't overlook it. And you say that like, okay, I'm going to actually wait for the girl who's right for me, who's going to be a good girlfriend, and you will be so grateful that you actually waited for the right one. And if you end up settling, if you end up getting with the wrong girl, okay, you'll end up learning this lesson the hard way, just like I did. So don't do that. Number two, attract, don't chase. So what do I mean by this? Well, back when I was younger, like back when I was in high school, I always went about my dating life with this mindset of like, how do I get this girl to like me back? What's the perfect thing to text her? Oh, what's the best pickup line? Oh, she's not showing interest in me, so I should just start chasing after her. But the issue with this is that when you go about your dating life in this way, where you're chasing after women, it's extremely repelling because it gives off the vibe that you are desperate. And women don't want a guy who is desperate. Women want a guy who other women are attracted to, who has options, who's masculine, okay? And if you're chasing after women and you're being desperate, that's showing the complete opposite of this. That's showing that you are desperate. That's showing that you're needy, right? And that's just gonna push girls away. So what you gotta do instead of making women the focus of your life and chasing after women is just focus on becoming the guy who they are attracted to. Yeah, you could put in all this effort and you could chase after girls, and that's not gonna even get you anywhere. Or you could just focus on building yourself into the man who naturally attracts women into his life. The most confident version of yourself, the best in shape version of yourself. That version of you is going to effortlessly attract women into his life. So not only does chasing women hurt you in the short term where it makes you more unattractive in the moment, but also it just limits your growth because instead of being the man who's focused on being his best self and improving, you're the guy who's just chasing women all the time. So chasing women doesn't help you with your dating life or your development as a man. So don't chase women and just focus on becoming your best self. And number three, never get complacent. The mistake where so many guys go wrong in long-term relationships and once things are actually going good with a girl is they start to get complacent. I mean, that's why we see so many relationships that just completely blow up. That's why the divorce rate is so high because people get in a relationship and then they start saying to themselves like, oh, now I have the girl, so now I can take it easy. Oh, now I can just sit around and, watch movies and eat chips and drink beer and watch sports all day. And she's always going to love me no matter what. But there's a key flaw with that way of thinking. And that is that she fell in love with the best version of you. She fell in love with you when you were attractive, when you were hitting the gym every day, when you were ambitious. So if you start to lose that edge, if you start to lose that fire that you had early on in the relationship, she's going to start to lose attraction for you because you aren't holding up your end of the deal. You aren't being your best self. So how can you expect a girl to love you when you aren't even showing up for yourself? Now, does this mean that you'll never go through some bad periods? No, of course, if you're with a woman for long enough, there's going to be small periods of time where maybe you do get a bit complacent, or maybe you do take your foot off the gas a bit. Okay, that's just human nature. It's going to happen. And a good partner, yeah, she'll stick with you through that. Okay, she'll help you get back on the right track. But still, you have to take it upon yourself to not allow that to happen that much. And once you notice, like, yeah, I've started to gain a little bit of fat. I've started to get a little bit complacent. I've stopped taking her out on as many dates. I've stopped showing as much effort in our relationship. You have to take it upon yourself to get things back on the right track, right? To be a leader. Because something you got to understand is that the masculine energy, like us as men, we are the leaders, okay? We are the ones who set the tone for the relationship. So if you start to get complacent and you start to not put as much effort into the relationship, then she's going to follow your lead because that's just the feminine, right? She's not going to save the relationship for you. She's going to follow the tone that you are setting. So if you're setting a complacent tone and you're not putting in effort, then guess what? She's going to stop putting in effort as well. She's going to stop hitting the gym. She's going to stop being her best self. And then the whole relationship is going to just completely crumble right in front of you. So if you want to have the best relationship, you need to be a leader. You need to show that masculine energy, okay? And that all starts with you. A woman cannot follow you unless you yourself are great as a man. So yes, you need to be a leader of a relationship, but first that starts with being your best self and not getting complacent on your own journey, okay? So never get complacent and keep being your best self. So anyways, bro, if you found this video helped you and you want to see more videos like this about becoming your best self, improving your dating life, becoming the most masculine, best version of yourself, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can see more videos like these. And yeah, I'll see you for the next video, bro. By the way, no pressure, but once you find that my free videos have helped you out quite a bit, you've gotten some value from them, and you want to take your dating life to the next level and you want my help getting to where you want to be, you can check the link to my coaching in the description, book a free call with me, and we can see if you'd be a good fit and get you to achieving your goals.